The SkySails Report Manager has been created to offer information for your decision-making process on board. The core functions of the Performance Manager include a display of the ship's efficiency. This includes travel speed recommendations for economically optimized ship operation and a set of electronic forms for voyage and position reports. The recorded data and entries are transferred to an onshore database. This includes reports such as arrival and departure reports, as well as noon reports. This video tutorial will show you how to successfully fill out and send arrival reports, departure reports, and noon reports. SkyPM offers 3 kinds of reports as part of the voyage management section. Arrival reports. Arrival reports are filled out at berth. They are conducted after the end of a sea passage. Departure reports. Departure reports are filled out when leaving the pilot station. Departure reports are conducted after the beginning of a sea passage. Noon reports. Noon reports are conducted daily after 12 o'clock. It is important that the logs necessary for the reports are filled out before the reports. Also, make sure that the date and time of the log entry is correct and within the time span for the report. For example, a bunkering event takes place at 11 o'clock local time, but if recorded 3 hours later, the information will not be included in the noon report. For more information on log entries, see the Quick Guide Log Entry or the SkySails Report Manager manual. In order to send reports, the necessary logs have to be filled out beforehand. For more information on log entries, see the Quick Guide Log Entry or the SkySails Report Manager manual. The general procedure for logs is similar. First, fill out the necessary logs. Then, make sure to be in the correct part of the voyage or at the correct time of the day. Conduct arrival reports whilst at port. Conduct departure reports whilst at the sea passage. A sea passage is the part of the voyage between 2 pilot stations. Maneuvering at port does not count as a sea passage. Noon reports should be filled out daily after 12 o'clock. It is important to fill out the necessary logs for the noon report before the report is sent. Otherwise, the log entry will not be incorporated into the report. Click on the button for the desired report. Control the values for the report. Wrong values can be corrected with the override function. You will note that the values marked with an asterisk are overridden values. Click on Apply Overrides to adopt the new values or on Cancel to close the dialog without changes. Send the report. Now we will take a closer look at the arrival report. After the end of a sea passage, the Arrival Report button becomes available. A sea passage ends at the pilot station. Therefore, click on the End of Sea Passage button when you are near the pilot station. Fill out the necessary logs for the arrival report if applicable for the sea passage. Anchorage log, berth log, bunker log, bunkering event log, cargo log, canal log, pilot log, time loss event log. A preview of the report is displayed on the right side of the screen. Check the preview for incorrect values. If possible, correct wrong data from logs in the log entries. Otherwise, correct wrong values in the preview with overrides. Manual overrides are shown on the left-hand side. If necessary, override incorrect values with the button Arrival Report Override. Correct the values in the dialog and click on Apply Overrides. Enter the date for No Tendered. Enter remarks for the arrival report. Refresh will show a new preview on the right side. Click on Send Report to send the report and return to Voyage Management. Feel free to pause the video at any time and check the current status of your voyage and which report button is available. During port, the Arrival Report button is active, whereas the Departure Report button is active during a sea passage. After the beginning of a sea passage, the Departure Report button becomes available. Fill out the necessary logs for the Departure Report if applicable for the stay at port. Berth log, bunker log, bunkering event log, cargo log, pilot log, time loss event log. A preview of the report is displayed on the right side of the screen. Check the preview for incorrect values. If possible, correct wrong data from logs in the log entries. Otherwise, correct wrong values in the preview with overrides. Manual overrides are shown on the left-hand side. If necessary, override incorrect values with the button Departure Report Override. Correct the values in the dialog and click on Apply Overrides. Enter the ETA date for the next pilot position. Enter the ETA date for next berth. Enter remarks for the departure report. Refresh will show a new preview on the right side. Click on Send Report to send the report and return to Voyage Management. You will have noticed that the arrival and departure reports are very similar in the procedure to fill out and send them. The noon report will also function in a similar way. However, the noon report is not dependent on a specific part of the voyage. It should be conducted daily shortly after 12 o'clock. In order to create a correct noon report, two things have to be considered. First, all logs necessary for the noon report must be completed before 12 o'clock. Otherwise, data from the logs will not be incorporated into the noon report. Second, the noon report must be conducted shortly after 12 o'clock, not before. Otherwise, a data gap will occur between reports. As in the arrival and departure reports, fields for data entry are on the left and a preview of the report is on the right. Fill out the fields on the left. The exact layout may differ according to the requirements of the customer. Enter navigational information like the type of sailing, for example, laden or ballast, the distance since last port and the distance to the next port. Enter the voyage data, whether the ship is traveling with reduced speed, the estimated time of arrival, and the time zone of the next port. Fill out the main engine data. Specify the average slip and the engine load indicator. The bunker levels in Noon report come mainly from the bunker log. Enter the freshwater and sludge levels manually. As in other reports, and remarks if deemed necessary. When you notice any incorrect values in the Noon report, correct them with the Override button. When everything is in order, click on Send to send the report. A PDF copy will be also saved on the computer. This concludes the tutorial. You have learned how and when to conduct the different types of reports. The arrival report whilst at port, the departure report whilst at sea, and the Noon report daily shortly after 12 o'clock. Make sure to fill out the necessary logs as well in a timely manner. SkySails has created a series of quick guides and other video tutorials for the SkySails Report Manager. You will also find helpful information in the SkySails Report Manager manual. This concludes the video tutorial. Please feel free to rewind or take pauses at any time during the video.